Pi coin just exploded 14% overnight, and I'm about to show you exactly why this changes everything for Pi Network. While everyone was saying Pi was dead, something massive just dropped that's making crypto analysts predict the rally to $1 has officially started. Pi Network just launched direct buying with credit cards and Apple Pay. No more exchanges, no more complications, just straight Pi purchases in your wallet. Here's the bombshell. This isn't just a feature update. This is Pi's declaration that they're done playing around and ready to compete with the big players. I'm going to break down why this 14% surge is just the appetizer, and what's coming next could completely transform your Pi holdings. Make sure you follow my Telegram and Facebook pages in the description, because I drop exclusive updates there the second they happen that could impact your investment decisions. Here's what just happened that has me more excited about Pi than I've been in months. Pi Network just launched their Buy Pi feature. And look, I'll be honest, when I first heard about it, I thought it was just another minor update. But after digging deeper, I realized this isn't just another small feature. This is addressing the single biggest frustration I've had with Pi Network for years. Now, for the first time ever, you can buy Pi coin directly through the Pi wallet using your credit card, Apple Pay, or Google Pay. And here's my take on this. This is exactly what Pi needed to stop being seen as some experimental mining app and start being viewed as a real cryptocurrency. I remember trying to explain to my own family how to buy Pi through exchanges, and honestly, it was embarrassing how complicated it was. Half the time, I just give up because the process was so convoluted. Think about what this really means from a practical standpoint. I've been in crypto long enough to know that the projects that survive aren't necessarily the ones with the best technology. They're the ones that make it ridiculously easy for regular people to participate. And in my opinion, Pi just took a massive step in that direction. No more explaining KYC processes, no more helping people navigate sketchy exchanges, no more watching potential users walk away because it's too complicated. The market's reaction tells the whole story. And frankly, it validated what I've been saying for months. Within hours of this announcement, Pi coin jumped over 14%, hitting a local high of $0.5212 on major exchanges. Now, I saw some people complaining about the correction afterward, but honestly, that reaction shows they don't understand how healthy markets work. This correction actually makes me more bullish because it shows Pi is building real demand, not just speculative bubbles. What really gets me excited is seeing the bigger strategy unfold, and I have to admit, I was skeptical about Pi's development pace before this. Pi Network has been systematically building infrastructure. Last month's Pi desktop enhancements, full account management in Pi browser, and now this direct purchase feature. Looking back, I realized they weren't being slow, they were being strategic. Each piece is part of a larger puzzle, and honestly, I'm starting to see the genius in their approach. Here's something that really caught my attention and changed how I view the community's maturity. Pioneers are already asking for a sell Pi button, and my initial reaction was concern. Are people just looking to dump? But then I realized this actually shows the community is thinking like real investors now, not just hopeful miners. They want full trading functionality, and that's exactly the kind of demand that drives serious development. Let me share something that genuinely gave me goosebumps when I read it. On-chain analyst Moon Jeff said, Pi is now trying to reclaim its glory. Many ALTs have been pumping, but it has been left behind. The rally to $1 might have just started. And honestly, this resonates with me deeply because I've been watching altcoins with far less utility pump while Pi built solid foundations. The accessibility factor is what really sold me on this update's importance, and I'll tell you why. I've watched too many good crypto projects fail because they couldn't bridge the gap between crypto enthusiasts and mainstream users. By eliminating third-party exchanges, Pi is removing the biggest psychological barrier to entry. My honest assessment, your grandmother can now buy Pi as easily as she shops on Amazon. That's not just convenient, that's revolutionary. What strikes me most about the timing is how perfectly positioned Pi is right now. While other cryptocurrencies have been riding hype waves and speculation, Pi has been quietly building real infrastructure. And frankly, I think this positions them perfectly for sustainable growth rather than the boom-bust cycles we see with meme coins. In my experience, the projects that build during quiet periods are the ones that explode when conditions align. The community response has been overwhelmingly positive, and honestly, it's restored some of my faith in the Pi community's intelligence. For years, Pi users have been asking for easier ways to acquire more Pi, and now that pathway exists. I genuinely believe this could create the positive feedback loop Pi has needed. Easier access drives more users, which increases utility and development, which attracts institutional attention. That's how real adoption happens. Here's what I honestly think you should do right now, and I'm speaking from experience. If this video has given you a fresh perspective, or even a bit of renewed hope about Pi Network's direction and potential, then hit that like button. Not just for the sake of the algorithm, but because it helps spread this message to other Pi users who might still be stuck thinking the project is going nowhere. A lot of people in this community have lost confidence after the delays and uncertainty, but updates like this one are a sign that things are finally moving in the right direction. When you like, comment, and engage, you're not just supporting the channel, you're helping more people see the bigger picture. So take a second, click that like button, and let's push this message to every corner of the Pi ecosystem. Drop a comment below and share your honest thoughts. Are you planning to use the new Buy Pi feature? And what's your gut feeling about where Pi is heading? Most importantly, hit that subscribe button because I'm committed to giving you my unfiltered take on Pi Network's journey. With developments like this happening regularly, I expect we'll see more significant price movements and adoption milestones that could seriously impact your Pi holdings. And honestly, don't forget to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages. That's where I share my immediate reactions and analysis the moment news breaks without any filters or corporate speak. I want to be completely transparent with you. Successful crypto investing isn't about chasing yesterday's winners or following the crowd. It's about recognizing genuine value before it becomes obvious to everyone else. And in my honest opinion, Pi Network's direct purchase feature represents something much bigger than a simple update. It represents Pi's evolution from an experimental network into a legitimate, accessible cryptocurrency that regular people can actually use. The real question isn't whether Pi will succeed anymore. In my mind, that question was answered with this update. The question is whether you'll position yourself to benefit from that success while it's still early. I genuinely believe we're at a critical inflection point. And if the community response and market reaction are any indication, we could be looking at the beginning of Pi's journey to that long-awaited dollar milestone that seemed impossible just months ago. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where I'll share my completely honest assessment of Pi Network's roadmap and what I think it means for your investment strategy. Until then, keep building your position if you believe in the vision like I do, stay engaged with the community, and remember, the best opportunities often come disguised as too good to be true until they're not. The best, in my opinion, is absolutely yet to come.